Hey everyone, Brayden here coming to you with the video I was not expecting to make today. Yesterday I was in Walt Disney World all day. I made a vlog for you guys. I got footage for 4 news videos that are coming your way. I was up over 24 hours. I was so beat, so I went home early, went to bed, and when I woke up today, my phone was blowing up. Brayden, the gondola's crashed. And I was like, you know what? So I got online, I got all the documentation I possibly could as to what happened. I talked to some folks that were there in person. The system isn't operating today. It is off limits right now as the system is investigated to make sure this doesn't happen again. The following message was left on the answering machines for guests staying at Walt Disney World.
We regret to inform you that Disney Skyliner will not be operating on Sunday, October 6th.
So let's take a look at exactly what went down. So at approximately 9 p.m. last night on the Epcot line of the brand new gondola system, which was completing its 7th full day of operation, something happened at the Disney Riviera station. That something Disney is officially describing in their statement as an unexpected downtime. When photos of what happened here first broke, the news media was calling it a crash, and then they were calling it an accident, and then it was just an incident, and then it was just, well, unexpected downtime. Now, the headline here, before we look into whatever you call this here, how it happened, the big news is nobody was injured. Everyone's okay. A few folks who were up on that line were reportedly sought medical care, who are like up there for a long time, likely some stress-related stuff you normally see in situations like this. Thanks to those vents and the fact that it's been pretty windy here lately, the guests who were up there should have had some pretty good fresh air moving through. It was after dark, so there was no heat stuff to worry about. The Reedy Creek Improvement District has been practicing evacuation procedures for the Skyliner for months. They've got special equipment that Disney purchased as part of the system specifically for this purpose of getting guests off the gondola in situations like this when something doesn't go right. Here you can see in this photo from viewer Sean, one of those cherry pickers is actually getting some guests off over on Buena Vista Drive, getting them safely off the gondola. Actually, this is closer to the boardwalk, I believe. There's a video online of people getting off over on Buena Vista on one of those contraptions. On the overwater portion at the Pop Century Art of Animation, Disney has a special boat that can pick you up. That line didn't have any issues. This was just specifically the Epcot line that was having issues last night. But over water at the International Gateway, they don't have that boat. They don't have that pontoon boat to pick you up. So some guests online have actually joked saying they want to get evacuated there because if you're over water by the International Gateway, there's this special zip line system they've devised where you go right over the waters of the World Showcase into the International Gateway. That would be a pretty once-in-a-lifetime experience, but obviously not something you want to have happen, the whole system be stopped like that. A lot of guests didn't actually have to evacuate last night. The evacuation folks who do that zip line thing over the water there were gearing up, but those photos you saw of them actually doing it, that was during evacuation testing. Disney was able to get the crashed car itself off the line at Riviera. It was put on a service spur that was conveniently located actually right next to where it got stuck, which was pretty lucky or good planning on Disney or Doppelmayer's part, the manufacturer of these gondolas. So they were able to get the line running again in recovery mode to actually get all the guests who hadn't been picked up by the cherry pickers and get everyone off the system safely. So thankfully everyone got off all right, and that was the conclusion of a pretty eventful night for the Disney Skyliner gondola system. Unfortunately, the system is currently down. As someone who has ridden it well over 10 times now, I can tell you it is awesome. The Skyliner is awesome. It is fast. It gives you great views of the surrounding property. It is absolutely beautiful. It's pretty cool with all the passive cooling going on. But this doesn't look so awesome, what you see going on here. So in this photo, at the point of the incident, you can see a total of 5 damaged gondolas that have actually been pressed up into each other at the Riviera station. That's the station that isn't open yet. Currently what happens is as you're passing through to go from the Caribbean Beach Hub station to Epcot, there's some cast members at the Riviera station who say hi to you, and you can see there's some broken glass below on the ground. My first question was, how is there broken glass? Disney has these things designed where they have bumpers. They can be put together for storage purposes at the Caribbean Beach station. Like, they can all be pressed up against each other. They're made of steel too, so there shouldn't be any warping that would cause any problems with the glass. How did the glass break? But then it was pointed out to me that it's not the glass on the gondola itself, it's the vent glass. Because Disney opted not to do the air conditioning units on the gondolas themselves, the vent glass that allows for that passive cooling I was just complimenting, when you put the gondolas together with those glass glass vents open, that's where you see that glass shatter. So that is likely the source of that broken glass you see on the ground, just a bunch of the gondolas being pressed together with those vents, the ventilation glass open. Some people online have been claiming that they were in some of those yellow cars. They described hearing that metal on metal sound and the vent glass breaking and those sorts of sounds. It sounded like the cast members at the station, at the Riviera station, who are awesome, by the way, they were actually great at helping them through it and getting all the guests off quick. But there may have been some damage to the doors on those cars that crashed. So we'll see what happened there. Basically what happens right now is on the Epcot line, since the Riviera Resort is not open yet, cast members just sort of talk to you as you slowly go through that part of that station. You know, they might tell you about some hidden Mickeys you can find or do Disney trivia, all sorts of fun stuff. They're great folks over there. What it looks like happened to me with this thing, since the system is all mechanical, there are very few actual, you know, digital elements to this at all. It is just a mechanical gondola system. The aqua car, which was at the bowl wheel part where it gets off the little station loading line, that little part, and that's when you get back onto the big boy, oh, you're on the moving part line, you know, you're going to the turn station and then onto Epcot. Right about there, when it was getting onto that line, that is where it got stuck. One person allegedly there claimed the line had been stopped temporarily at that point when the aqua car got there. It was around that point, and then when they resumed motion, when the system started back up again, that aqua car wasn't moving, and that's what caused that buildup of the cars you see here. So now we're left wondering how long before we get our brand new transportation system back at Walt Disney World. It's a really big help if you want to get between Epcot and Hollywood Studios. The lines for it move very quickly. It loads so quickly. If you're at a connected resort, it's great for getting to both of those parks. It's super, super fast, but right now the system is down. I don't know if this is going to be something where it requires a sort of like NTSB investigation type thing. I really hope it doesn't, because if it does, then that would be even a longer downtime. If not, the manufacturer Doppelmayr, I'm sure, is already working on it with Disney to get everything fixed and everything back up and running, and hopefully we can have the system back running in just a few days. That would be my hope, since this does seem like it was just a mechanical thing that can be worked out fairly quickly, minus a few gondolas that'll definitely have to go in maintenance there, the ones where their vent glass cracked and shattered and stuff like that. Some armchair Imagineers on Twitter claim this system was doomed to start because gondola systems are fundamentally flawed, but somehow the Disney Skyliner manufacturer manages to have hundreds of these lines, just like Disney's, operating around the world at other tourist destinations, even as mass transit, short distance in cities. These things are made to move a lot of people reliably, safely, and really efficiently, and I thoroughly enjoyed riding them, so I really hope they get the Skyliner back up soon. Let me know your thoughts on what went down here, and be sure to subscribe with those notifications on so you don't miss any breaking Disney news. We've got some awesome videos on the way. I'll talk to you very soon. This is Brayden. Stay safe out there. Have a magical day.